So, the question is if I enjoy photographing as an artist or photographer. I'm sure this is partly why you've asked the question, but it's not something that I can really answer quickly or easily, I suppose. I guess I must enjoy some elements of photography, or else I wouldn't be studying formally. I suppose the ironic thing is that the more that I study, the less I take images or make images, which seems sort of, I suppose, perverse in a way. I think I used to be more attracted by the process of making or taking the image, the f-stops and the film speeds and the whatnot, the technicalities of it, if you like. But the more that I study or read about images, the contents and critical theory, the more difficult I find it is to take and make images.
I can't take a picture if somebody doesn't want me to take their picture. I usually wonder how wartime photographers or documentary photographers have the nerve to click the shutter in some of the pictures I've seen. Usually, in most cases, I wouldn't be able to take some of the pictures that they take. But I have to say, yeah, I do enjoy photography.
I do enjoy photographing, especially the process that involves to make a project, all the research that I need to do, trying different things, different approaches, and also make mistakes and learn something about them. And for me, take pictures is not something about in relation with pleasure, or it's something more about discover something about others or about yourself.
If I don't enjoy taking picture, I will not take it, for example. So that's a nice way to find out if I'm interested by my subject, or if I'm on the right path in terms of what I want to be doing. Or so usually, yeah. And I mean, recently I've been using photography as a therapy, for example. So yes, it is a pleasure, and I find it really relaxing. What I find more distressful and painful is more the editing and showing the picture, which is weird, because when you're a photographer, you'd rather, I mean, why are you a photographer? Do you need to show your picture, or you don't? I mean, I never really felt the urge of showing my picture in a weird way, so it's something very personal. I know it's a bit weird, but I find it quite distressful actually to show my work and to exhibit it, because it never feels like a finished product. But I'm trying to be quite instinctive, I guess, you know, just like let go and just press the button. It's more like something I tend to not think too much, basically, because it's sort of like cloud my judgment, if I may say so. Well, I guess I really enjoy photographing, but certain conditions are to be right, and you have to do something that is like sort of honest, because things just flow much easier, are flowing, well, I don't know, yeah, just flowing basically. So yeah, I guess that's it.
Right, can you hear me when I talk? Well, if I try to think what photography provokes in me, what kind of feelings when I take the camera, when I prepare shots, is it about pleasure, or what does it really, what kind of feelings does it provoke? I would say it's kind of a strange thing, because it's, for me, there's something about a compulsion when I take pictures, something I see and I think about my environment. It's a way to deal with my environment around me and my experience as a being, kind of. That makes sense. Also, the other day I went to visit a 102-year-old lady, and it was just an amazing encounter. She was still so bright, and I felt I really need to capture her as a person. And so I took a picture, but then I felt, even though she might be close to dying, I don't want to impose my camera on her. So I just took one picture after a few hours, and I know I'm going to come back soon, and humanly, it's, as an experience, I get a lot out of that.
I think I quite enjoy photographing and photography in general. It's probably the most pleasurable thing that I can do with my time, because I get an immense visual pleasure from the world. I started taking pictures because I first saw a photograph that really emotionally hit me, and I got tingles down my spine. And I think that's what's kind of motivated me since the beginning, or it's kind of motivated me with everything I've really done in life, kind of getting this shiver that starts in the back of my spine and kind of goes up and comes out through my arms, and it's very, very kind of overwhelming, but in a very positive way. And that's basically why I keep taking pictures.
I
enjoy watching. So photographing, actually taking pictures, was or is just a natural result of this. I've always enjoyed watching from the outside, and the cameras suddenly gave me the opportunity to interact, to communicate with what I was watching, with people or worlds I'm not actually part of, but I want to learn about. So it's more of a tool. It strikes me when everything seems to be in the right place, then I think I always have the feeling that I take something from people and that I ask them to do something for me, give them something to me which I can't really return, at least not as much as they give to me. Yeah.
Pleasure and pain. Well, I think the more pain for an image, the more pleasure I get out of it. It's the process of taking it. I think once I've taken a photograph, I start to lose interest in the photograph. So the process is very, very important, and my last shoot took a day to shoot, but 4 months to get access to. Very depressing. The ups and downs, it's like a roller coaster really, having to think about getting there and getting to the place, the process, the money, can you afford it, how is it going to be, the dangers. And I'm thinking, I have not been looking into the video recorder, so I better start looking into it. Maybe it's because I don't like looking into lenses, I like looking through lenses. Don't like being in front of a camera. It does tend to break you down, it does tend to see you. And I suppose I like seeing people rather than them seeing me. That's what I enjoy about the photography. I like recording other people, I don't like being recorded. I don't like looking how much one changes from a photograph when you're 10 to a photograph when you're 40. Very powerful tool, and I like holding it. I don't like looking through it. But for this I have. So yes, pleasure and pain, it's both. Okay.
I'm never quite sure what's the spark of the inspiration behind something that I decide to do. I'm never quite sure if it's an original idea that I've got in mind, or if it's something that, okay, again, yeah, so sometimes I just feel like I'm particularly interested in an idea which is external to me, or otherwise it could be something that seems to happen inside of my own mind. Now the process, it keeps changing, it depends on, no, it doesn't depend on the subject. What am I talking about? Shit, I can't stand the camera. In regards to whether it changes with the subject photographed, if the process changes in regards to the subject photographed, the answer is no.
It can be hard at times, especially when I'm using a lot of equipment, but it's definitely excitement for me, and it's both a profession and a hobby, and I really love it.
Andrea, shall I press it again?